All right. Welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight here as we get into the Bottled and Bond Blind Flight, which is something that we've historically done as a bracket, but this year with everything going on in March, we took it as a one-off. We've got 6 samples here. They're all obviously bottled and bond, so over 4 years old. For a single distilling season, 100 proof. At some point here, Charlotte will join us in progress, but let's go ahead and get some experiences here with the. Hey, Charlotte, welcome. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get some experience here with sample number 1, and we'll come back here and give our tasting notes here, and hopefully everyone has a great time.
I'll talk shit about you.
Feel like I am struggling.
All right, everyone. Hopefully you got some good tastes there of the sample number 1. I know I enjoyed it. I'm trying to remember what I put in this, and I have no idea. Let's go ahead and get right into it here. Mike, you were here first, so if you wouldn't mind giving us some impressions, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, on the nose, I'm getting some like more cereal notes. Almost like an oatiness, maybe nuttiness kind of nose on it. And then the initial taste, I got some honey flavors, and it warmed me up more than I was expecting.
Outstanding. Great remarks. Chris, you're next.
Yeah, so on the nose, I got like a fig or like a marzipan type note. I also wrote down some licorice on the nose.
Yeah.
Kind of went through on the taste for me. I wrote down oak, wet wood, and I got a lot of like chocolate, almost like baking cocoa type flavor to it. And I did, as Mike said, got a little bit of honey towards the end. I think it was just the residual sweetness that kind of came through. Overall, I really like this one to start off with.
Excellent. Dan.
You're muted.
Hey, Dan.
Man, if I had $1 for every time I did that in a meeting,
you would have many more dollars.
I'd be rich. I wouldn't have to work. I can get where everyone's coming with their tasting notes, but for everything, for the nose, palate, and finish, I wrote peanuts because I would say I am pretty sure I know what this is, and it's not really my jam. I think I mean, when I went back to it, I got more things like where like Chris said with like the cocoa, I kind of got like baked brownies. And then it does have a very desserty finish. But when I first tasted it on the palate, it was like boiled peanuts, and it kind of put me off. And I had to go back to it to kind of get more notes out of it.
Well, excellent overall. Like, dislike?
Middle of the road.
Excellent. Well, obviously, keep your bottle calls for the end here, but I'm interested to see what you think it is. All right. Well, let's start with Jackie. You're muted as well.
I double clicked, and then Josh started talking. It confused me. I don't know. I struggled since congestion and all. I got some sweetness maybe in the nose, but I struggled with this one, so I don't really have much to say about it.
All right. Josh?
I got some oak on the nose. It's kind of like bitter chocolate with a little bit of that peanut note to it, and then the finish was like a pine. Wasn't really my favorite.
All right. And I guess I'll give my remarks here. It was a really kind of nondescript nose, but that could be because I was starting with a toasted finished product. But sweet, cinnamon, marzipan, almonds, like toasted bread a little bit. I definitely got all that. Someone said licorice. I didn't really get it when I first tasted it, but then obviously the power of suggestion, I definitely got it there. Overall, I'm not dissatisfied with it. It definitely is a pretty good sample. All in all, where would everyone place your thermometers? All right, so we've got some indifference and some positives, but no one seems to be to hate it. Hopefully, we can get through all 6 here without any negative reactions. But that's a tall order. With that being said, let's get on to sample number 2 here. Get some taste, get some remarks, and we'll be back in about 2 minutes. All right. Welcome back, everybody. I guess I'll go first here since I went last on the last one. I don't know what this is, but compared to the first sample, I do not like it nearly as much. The nose was pretty absent. The taste was slightly astringent and then solventy, then a little sweet. It didn't really have too much complexity to it. And the finish, I would say, was kind of a bit spicy and then tannic. Overall, I think this probably should be something that gets mixed. With that being said, let's bring in
I was hoping it was me, because you know me and I like tannic whiskeys. This one was weird because initial I got like it smelled like dish soap, and then it kind of smelled like musty socks. So I kind of had some water, tried it again, and then it kind of got floral. But the palate I wrote honey, and like I wrote fruit peaches, and then I wrote fruit cup. It's those little like fruit cups with the pears, the peaches, and the cherries. I mean, and it looks just like the liquid that's in that cup anyway. So I think that's probably what you poured. But again, the finish was sweet, spicy, and then again I get that tannic that you were talking about. And honestly, besides the nose being funky, I like this better than the first.
all right. Chris, your remarks, sir.
Dan, spot on with that fruit cup. I couldn't quite put a word on it, and at least for my flavor, I wrote light fruit. That was the only thing I could think of, but definitely that's what I was kind of thinking, was that like mixed fruit cup. On the nose, the first thing I got, it tasted literally like isopropyl, like rubbing alcohol with honey mixed in it. I got a lot of honey on the palate too, but everything overall was super light. Also wrote down for the nose, I got a little bit of light orange on it, and maybe some like corn towards the end of it. I kind of swirled it around a bunch and got some like toasted corn notes both on the taste and the palate. But I think Dan was spot on with the words I was trying to find. But one of those like toddler fruit cups is probably exactly what I was kind of thinking, but wrote down light fruit instead.
That's lightly fruit. All right, Josh, let's get your remarks first this time.
I got a lot of fruit on the nose, and then I got a lot of chocolate cherry for flavor. I really liked it.
I didn't really get much on the nose. And then taste, I don't know. Maybe a Tootsie Roll. So way different than everybody else's notes. And then just kind of a burn after that. I didn't really like this one.
Okay, that's a reasonable description. And Mike?
You're muted.
Hey, Mike, you're muted.
Mute?
Oh, he froze.
Okay.
Will, do you have one of those technical difficulty screens that you can throw up?
We don't have one of those right now. I'm gonna kick Mike out. Can you give us at least a Hey, refresh yourself, Mike. I'll let you back in as soon as you pop back in.
I'm wondering if he can't hear us either.
Oh, he finally froze, so maybe he's dropping out.
Yeah.
I mean, in the interim, I'll have more of sample 2.
Absolutely. I totally did not get the fruit cup until you guys said it. And while you found it as a positive, I found it as a negative.
Really? This was weird because if I didn't know this was Bottle and Bond, I would have thought that this was almost like a Japanese kind of whiskey, because it has a lot of the notes that I get out of Japanese whiskey but not single malt. It's almost like a blend of like a bourbon with a Japanese single malt. There's a lot of those flavors that I get in those that are in this. I mean, I think part of it is whatever this is. I mean, my guess is that it's a pot stilled whiskey because of some of the flavors that I'm getting, but I'm not
Hey,
sure.
Mike, welcome back.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can see and hear you.
Okay, well, that Chromebook I told you Will finally decided to crap out, so I'm on my phone.
Hey, it still worked. You're connected.
So, you want my notes real quick?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, my notes are totally. It's weird. I think this is some kind of bottled and bond rye. I don't know if you put anything like that in there, but I got mint, like chocolate mint almost, but I'm not getting the fruitiness as much. This is weird. I didn't get much on the nose though.
All right then. Overall, everyone's effect on that. Okay, we got 2 positives and a bunch of indifference. Again, no one hated it. I mean, I guess that's a step. Sample 3, which appears to be substantially darker than the last one here. Let's go ahead and get some time with that on our palate and move on to that here in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back. I mean, Mike, since you're large on the screen here, go ahead and give us some notes on sample number 3.
So I thought I got some notes on the nose from the first one, but I'm still getting more peanuts now on the first one. So I would say some light chocolate notes, both on the nose and the taste. I got maybe a light cherry. Right now, I think I'm digging it. I gotta let it open up a little bit more.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and get some notes here from Dan.
I got a lot of notes. This one is the most complex by far that we've had so far. I wrote varnish, and then it went into cherries, then it went into apples, and then I went into the palate. It kind of was very nutty at first, and the mouthfeel was kind of weak. But but then it kind of tasted, and then it kind of moved into almost like a baked bread, like a chocolate croissant. Then when I went back to the nose, all I got was chocolate croissant, and then like wood shavings. Like I went into like a wood shop.
Okay, well, that
And then-
sounds like it tasted like all the things in
All
different
the
colors.
things, yeah, everything all at once. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Chris, let's go ahead and get your tasting notes.
So overall on the nose, as kind of Dan said, I thought this was the most complex that we've had so far. I got a bunch of oak dark wood. On the nose, I got more of like a darker strawberry. It wasn't like a fresh fruity strawberry. I wrote down cereal, and I did get a little bit of that peanut kind of flavor on the nose. Taste wise, this was pretty creamy. It didn't last very long, but it almost seemed like it was like sticky in my mouth. I wrote oak, dark cherry with strawberry, and I got a little bit of honey in that nuttiness towards on the back side of it. But it didn't linger, didn't give a hug or anything like that. But it was almost seemed like it just stuck in my mouth longer than I expected. I thought this one was probably the best so far. I liked it. I want to go back and compare this to number one. They were pretty similar, but I thought this was a little bit more complex than number one.
Sounds like you're already setting up your side-by-sides for later. All right. Jackie, let's go ahead and get your notes.
I've given up on the nose. But for taste, at first I kind of got lemon, and then it was like a sweeter lemon. So like almost like a lemon head, maybe. I don't know. I like this one the most so far, though.
All right. Actually, it's kind of interesting to hear the impressions there, because I definitely rely on my nose for a lot of the tasting impressions, and it's kind of how smell works. But to see what you get out of it without the aroma to pair with it, it
It's a little
definitely.
difficult.
Josh.
Got a lot of oak on the nose. I don't know if it was just influence, us talking back and forth, but I got a lot of citrus.
All right. So it's either influenced or it's there.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. I got some cherry, like black cherry, not sweet cherry or bright or sour cherry, with some wet wood on the nose. First thing that hit my palate, super sweet, really bright. I said orange blossom honey, flowers. The taste was kind of a medium length, very smooth, no burn. I mean, at 100 proof, you usually wouldn't expect that, but I agree with everyone that said of the three we've had so far, this one definitely has the most complexity. With the smaller number here we've got tonight, we're breezing right on through. Most important thing to keep in mind here is we do have the in-person barbecue party / election for open board seats here on the first Sunday in May. We will have a listing of who's running against two up pretty shortly. Does anyone need a short break here for facilities?
I think we still need Mike's notes on that one.
No, I gave mine.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I got more of like the cherry notes and a little bit of chocolate. This is definitely my favorite though out of the three so far.
Okay. I don't know where I was for that. I think
No, you're good.
You were still mulling the tasting experience.
exactly. Yeah.
This definitely seems the most complex out of the first three, I would say.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the back half of the series here with sample number 4. I'll see you all in 2 minutes. All right, everyone, welcome back. Hopefully you got some quality time there with sample number 4. We'll go ahead and get this one started here with Jackie for the tastes notes only. No aromas required.
Funky dirt, but then some sweetness. I don't know. I'm at a loss tonight.
I mean, hey, everyone's experience can vary, and your situation determines how it varies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Josh?
I got some vanilla on the nose, and I got some cherry and like bitter chocolate on the taste. I liked it.
All right. Well, let's grab Chris here.
Yeah, so I just had to Google her name, but the first thing that came to my mind when I smelled this was the pine sol lady. Like it just tasted like pine. It smelled like pine sol to me. I got that like not quite varnish smell to it, but then it opened up to like a light floral on the nose. Those kind of all carried through to the palate for me. I wrote down light ethanol with a little bit of oak, and then I got some like buttery corn. Thought this one was pretty plain and one-dimensional for the most part.
All right.
And her name is Diane Amos, by the way.
Okay. All right, Dan, let's get some remarks from you, sir.
Sorry, that was a struggle to unmute. Honestly, I think this, I'm going to go the opposite of Chris with this being kind of one note. This is, I think, more complex than sample 3. This one was kind of confusing. This one had the most hug out of all of them, but I wrote on the nose, and I kind of went back and forth because I don't know where I'm at with this. I'm still kind of contemplating, but I wrote citrus candy, spicy, rye/oak, because I can't tell if it's like a rye smell or if it's an oak smell. It kind of smells like Angostura bitters. And I get a lot of like baking spices, like cinnamon apple on the palate. And I mean, this one has like the longest finish. Again, it kind of just sticks in the back of your mouth. And again, I still feel it here. That or I have heartburn, but one of the two.
Absolutely. Mike?
So on the nose, I got just some very, I would say, a little bit of fruits and some floral notes. But then on the palate, I would agree that there is a longer finish on this one versus any of the other ones. I'm almost getting a more of a bitter chocolate, like a baking chocolate note. Is kind of probably the biggest thing I'm getting off of it right now. Maybe a little bit of oak.
All right. Well, I'm definitely in the camp. It tasted like cleaning chemicals. First thing I noted on the nose was fat citration, like specifically the antiseptic that I usually associate with peated whiskey on the nose. And I know for a fact this is a bottled and bond. It is not a peated whiskey. And it's still, I found it on the nose and I did not like it. It's slightly astringent, cloves, herbs on the palate, barrel char, not like chocolate, but like the char bits that come out of a barrel. I managed to eat some of that somehow. The finish was long and fusile. This, of the 4 we've had so far, probably the first one I'm going to give a thumbs down to. That being said, we totally missed it on the last one, but from everyone, your reactions. All right. At least Chris has some negative feelings to make me feel okay about my negative feelings. All right, here. Sample 5. It's a little darker than sample 4. Let's go ahead and spend some time with it and find our way back. All right, everyone. Welcome back there with some time on sample 5. We'll go ahead and start Chris out on this one.
I was really hoping you were going to start with me. I got all over the place with this one. I'm not sure where my palate's headed. Originally on the nose, I wrote down cherry Pepto-Bismol, and then it was a little bit of musty. But then when I went back to it about 30, 45 seconds later, it really opened up, and I wrote down fruit cornucopia with some wood shavings. So it kind of turned from pretty terrible to really good at the end. On the palate, I got medicinal cherry to begin with, and it turned into like a weird grape bubblegum, which is a note that I usually get with like Buffalo Trace products. So I'm not really sure where I was headed with that one, but then it opened up, kind of everything did towards the end, and I got like a nice complex, like woody corn type flavor to it at the end. It went from really bad to pretty decent. I went from like probably a D- to a B-.
Okay, then. Sounds like it's his transformation. All right, Jackie?
At first I got, I don't know, like a smoky taste, maybe. I don't know. And then like some sort of creamy fruit. Sounds weird, but
Okay. Josh?
Yeah, the nose, I got like a sweet candy. And then for the taste, I got like a vanilla strawberry. Kind of like the, I had to Google it, but the candied cream savers.
Oh, the ones that when you unwrap them, they're a pinwheel?
I believe so. Maybe.
I don't know. I think I know what you're
Yeah.
saying. I think that's like the creamy fruit that I'm referring to.
Yeah.
All right.
It was good.
Okay. Another good. Let's get Dan here in.
All right. This one, this took me a while. So I put question marks originally because it took me for about the first minute to figure out till I got my first note. But I got rubber erasers. For like a split second, I got eggshells. I haven't got that since. I get what Chris said though about Pepto. I also get like unflavored Greek yogurt, that kind of like funky smell. But and again, power of suggestion. I kind of get a little bit fruit now, but it tastes like vitamins and like Dayquil. And on my finish, I wrote, "Please go away." I don't like this one at all. This one does not agree with me.
Dan, we can be
Think
friends.
about what you're eating.
Yeah.
Hot tub water before rubber erasers.
Maybe as a kid I ate those things, but that's I mean when I smelled it, I still get that, like the rubber erasers, like the pink rubber erasers, or like you get a number 2 pencil. It's weird. That's my Bernheim barrel proof for this blind.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and bring Mike in.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So I just want to put it out there. It's you guys remember Muscle Men? The little pink Muscle Men? They were toys back in the 90s.
Yep.
I do not.
I got that note. But Muscle Men note. So I'm gonna put that out there. But then I got a mustiness and like a grapiness, like you guys said, on the taste. It's weird. This is probably E.H. Taylor's small batch, and we're like over analyzing it.
I could see that because, as I said, that great bubble gum I get on Buffalo Trace all the time.
Who said the Flintstone vitamins?
That was me.
Yeah, I get that too. So
Okay.
but mark down Muscleman notes of plastic and rubber.
Well, that's why I said the pink erasers. I think they use the same rubber in those little the little dudes. Yeah, it has to be.
Oh, this is fantastic. Any other remarks, Mike?
Nope, that is it.
Well, I seem to have the punch all the boxes here. I've got Funky Cave, B vitamin complex, Flintstones vitamins, flavored sweet corn hulls, pencil shavings,
Who's ever gotten an IV before where they punch B12 in your IV and you get that taste in your mouth? Yes, that's what.
Yes, you and I are on the same page here. The finish was thankfully fast, but surprisingly sweet. Overall, some thumbs here. I'm gonna, yeah. I don't think I can quite give it 2 thumbs up or down, but 1 absolutely. All right. Well, we've only got 1 sample left here in our first taste through, so let's go ahead and spend some time with that, and we'll see everyone in 2 minutes. All right. Well, that was another experience. Let's get. Oh, heck. Who wants to go first? I guess I'll go first. On the nose, I didn't get a whole lot aside from maybe just a kind of an echo of number 4 there. Just a little bit of maybe if you had a cinnamon band-aid going on. Taste sweet, like Mexican sweet corn, like the cojita cheese, some chili, some lime, some tanginess, the corn husks. Medium finish, really very round, nothing pointed, but it thankfully is not around for a super long time. Let's go ahead and get. Chris ran away. Dan's still tasting. Let's get Mike in here.
So, Will, you said cinnamon, right?
Yeah, there's definitely some cinnamon.
Yeah, I that's what my first thing I said to my buddy that's here, cinnamon for sure. I'm getting some sawdusty notes. I'm not sure. I come back to me, but that's kind of where I'm at right now.
All right, excellent. Josh and Jackie, you guys look ready?
I got for tasting like a sweet butter, maybe like and then cornbread. I don't know.
That's things.
Josh?
I got a lot of oak, a lot of vanilla. I liked it. It's probably the smoothest for me out of all of them.
Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and bring in Dan.
All right. This one was a roller coaster. for the longest time, I spent the first 2 minutes plus after trying to get something on the nose that wasn't offensive, because I wrote dirty laundry, dirty socks, but then I wrote, but not in an unpleasant way. Not that I'm smelling dirty laundry and dirty socks, but it smells like those things.
Nice save there.
Yeah. But there's something there that's substantial. And until Jackie said butter and I went back to it, I do get there is a butteriness to it, and the dirty laundry, dirty socks note that I was getting kind of went away. It's still kind of there. It's I don't know if that's musty or there's something in there. I can't really put my nose to it. But the only things that I got on the palate was honey roasted peanuts and cinnamon.
So it's weird because I just smelled it again and I'm getting like weird amberana nose on it.
Yeah. It's that like funky, weird woody thing, almost like an oatmeal, like a cinnamon oatmeal.
Yeah, I said cinnamon toast crunch in a way, not identical, but in a way.
It's there, and that's all it is. It's an amberana bottle and bond. That's what it is.
All right, Chris.
I'm right there with you, Dan. On the nose, I got damp wood, and I wrote musty socks. I got a little bit of marzipan, and then like a weird mushy corn. And then on the nose, I wrote down pretty much the same kind of things: damp oak, leather, and a little bit of vanilla. It's kind of all over the place, but I didn't want to put like dirty socks down, but for the taste too, because I've never tried socks before. But definitely kind of got that weird kind of musty type nose and flavor to it. Overall, it wasn't the worst. I kind of want to compare this maybe to number 5. But overall, I didn't think it was the worst one that we've had tonight.
Chris, you did say that you worked a 12-hour shift. So if you want to, when we do the comparison, I'm sure you have dirty socks. So if you want to,
I'm still wearing them, and I got to work at 12 tomorrow too.
Yeah, turn your camera off when you want to try those and compare it to number 6. But
Are you sure?
I do not encourage anyone to smell the dirty socks. All right, I think that's everyone here on this one. So that is all 6. Obviously, go ahead and put together your listing of 1 through 6, your top rated. If you got any bottle calls you'd like to make, we'll go ahead and address those before we do the reveal and after the ranking. But here we go. Let's have some tastes, and once you're ready to go ahead and unmute yourself and let's have a conversation about what we're tasting.
I think I already know what number 6 is because it's usually my go-to kind of original pour, but we'll keep that for another couple minutes.
I have a feeling on number 6 too. Curious now.
I don't know if it was number 6 ruining it, but number 1 and smells like Elmer's glue now.
So, that's not the type of Elmer you want to be talking about in whiskey.
Exactly, yeah.
Number 3 smells even better than it did before.
Yeah, I revisited that, and I like it even more than I did the first time around.
Which one was that?
That's
Number
about-
3.
Number 3.
Okay. Number 3 is my favorite so far.
All right, I think I'm ready, but I can wait for everybody else.
Excellent. I
want to.
have like 2 more side by sides to figure out where 2 and 3 land.
Will you sound like a robot or frozen?
How about now?
Or did I lose everybody?
You
sound
hear
funny.
frozen, sir.
So I hear him loud and clear, but yeah, I think Dan, you're frozen.
Hey, you're back.
Am I back?
Nope, you just went all robot.
Oh shit.
2 smells very tannic and wine-like to me now. More so than the first time around, because I didn't get that tannic flavor to it.
All right, can you guys hear me now, or am I still freezing?
Yeah.
I can hear you,
You're
and you
good.
seem to be moving. All right.
Will, I'm going to join with my phone, so will you switch me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're both ready whenever.
All right.
Mhm.
We got Dan back in on his phone. I'll give you
Awesome.
just a moment here to prep the grid here, and then I will collect everyone's scores. All right. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
All right. Well, given on position, Chris, let's go ahead and start with you. Please read me your selections from 6 to 1,
So worst to best.
worst to best.
Worst is going to be number 5. Then number 6. Number 2. Number 1. Number 4. Number 3.
All right, Mike.
So you want worst to best, you said, right?
Correct.
6, 4, 5, 2, 1, 3.
All right, Jackie.
4, 2, 5, 1, 6, 3.
Josh.
1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6.
You really threw me a loop there when you put 4 and 3 in positions 4 and 3 respectively. Dan?
All right. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I was 5, 6, 4, 2, 1, 3. Give me just a moment here to tabulate the scores, and we will be figuring out if anyone needs.
This is all over the place.
Yeah, I think we're all over
Although three it won it by easily.
Yes, it was not unanimous, but it was very close.
Do we have any bottle guesses? The only one I really have is number 6.
I'm guessing Pappy Van Winkle bottled and bond.
Josh has number
I
6.
have a guess for number 6. I don't know.
I think 6 is early times bottle and bond.
So
Evan Williams bottle and bond.
I wrote a couple. I wrote Beam Old Granddad Bottle and Bond for 1,
I
have no idea what sample 2 is. Sample 3, I put question mark McKenna, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. And then 4 was New Riff. And then 5 was Dickel. And I have no idea what 6 is. But those are my guesses.
I could see New Riff being 3. Yeah, in the early times, I think getting me on 6 because I usually drink that as my go-to, either first pour or.
I got distracted and stopped doing math.
The question is, would Will do himself dirty and put Dickel in this blind?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. 10, 16, 17, 19. All right. I've got some results. And let me figure out what exactly our flight is here. All right. So, in last place with 28 points, we've got sample number 5, which is George Dickel Bottle and Bond.
Got it. Awful.
Wow, you didn't put that in last place?
I mean, Josh didn't.
No, I'm saying you will.
I mean, I did.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, I thought you. Oh, wait, never mind. I don't.
I love how he wrote down the vitamin flavor to it.
Yep.
Which is
That's something that I've
characteristic.
never quite described before, but it 100% is a keynote for that particular distillery for me.
I really like that bottle, so I'm happy I put that in second.
In 5th place with 24 points, we have Early Times Bottle and Bond, specifically the blue cap.
What number was that, sir?
Number 6.
Yeah. I knew that. I drink it too much that I couldn't not get that right.
All right, then in 4th place, we have number 2 with 23 points. This one is new to me, and apparently I don't hate it. It is Redwood Empire Grizzly Beast.
I actually wrote that. I skipped that because I didn't know, but if you guys want proof, it is written there on the paper.
Wow, your notes.
I guessed pot still, and I know Redwood does pot still, so I actually did guess that one right too, and I need to buy a bottle, apparently.
It definitely is not a bad choice. All right, and then in number 3rd place, we've got with 22 points, sample number 4, which is Henry McKenna 10, Bottled and Bond. It is actually a 13-year-old.
Whoa.
I feel very sad that I have rated that my 4th choice because that actually came out of my cellar.
Well, Will, next time I'm over, I know what I'm having. That was my favorite, and
That was my second favorite.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, it's in my basement. Let's see here. Then slightly better than that, we've got sample number 1 with 20 points. Dan, you called this here for sample number 3, Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. And I seriously cannot believe number 3. Sample number 3, the winner by a whole lot with only 9 points. Anyone got any bottle calls on that? I know you called it, Dan, as either a McKenna or a
Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond.
I think riff.
Mike, any calls for?
I'm blown. I have no idea.
Well, my palate is completely blown away. It is the cheapest bottle that we have on the entire series.
Love it.
It is JTS Brown.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That makes sense though, because JTS Brown is not a bad budget bottle.
No, for $20, I'd buy that every day of the week.
That's crazy. That one was probably the most complex, and I mean it was my second place, but it was a toss up.
Well, I mean, you've literally just compared $20 to nearly $100
Yep.
with positions 2 and 1. So I think we had a successful blind tonight.
And those first two are Heaven Hill, though, aren't they? Because
Yeah.
JTS Brown's Heaven Hill, right?
Yeah, there are 3 Heaven Hill here.
Yep. So
Yeah.
first, second, and fourth were Heaven Hill. Or no, first, second, and third were Heaven Hill.
First, second, and third. Yeah, Henry McKenna.
What was number
Clearly,
two
they
again?
know their bottle and bond game.
Evan
What was number
Williams.
Sample number 2 or position number 2?
No, sample number 2.
That was Redwood Empire Grizzly Beast.
Okay.
I'm really surprised I guessed that, but I like their stuff, and I mean I'm really a big fan of New Holland and that kind of peach rings, kind of fruity flavor.
Hey, speaking of New Holland, if you guys get a chance to try the Bourbon Junkies pick of the Walleye Run to compare it to ours, it's worth it.
Excellent.
I have a bottle of that. Next time we're up at the lounge, I'll bring it.
That's not mine. That's my buddy's. That's sitting here. So.
All right. Well, thank you everyone here for joining in on this month. Next month. It'll probably be near the end of April, but the theme is going to be shelf versus cask strength. So traditional offering at whatever the proof, whether it's 80, 86, 90, 94, versus a barrel proof offering from the same distillery. There'll be 3 distilleries represented. It will be double line to everyone but the assembler. And I might see if I can enlist Jason to assemble it, so I'm also blinded out.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Cheers, and have a great night.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.